Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing some mods on my K24 swapped FRS, and you know it's a good day when you get a package from Haltech. And what we're installing today is the Haltech dash, the LC-7. This will look pretty cool, not gonna lie. Pretty excited for this one. See what's in the box. Performance inside. Welcome to the family. Which is kind of weird. If you're buying this, more than likely you're already in the family. You already have a Haltech ECU. So yeah. Okay, what's on the box? Of course you get your dash itself. You get the plug that plugs into the back of it. This is this guy, which it comes with additional pins so you can directly pin in like other gauges or sensors, like any other sensors you need to do that. This is essentially a extension cable for this. Comes with a USB drive. This plugs into the back of the dash so you can hook up to your laptop. Essentially hooks up this yellow cord to your computer, to this cord, and this hooks up to that. You got a keychain. And not one or two, but you get 3 stickers from tiny to big. And of course your quick start guide. This should be a fairly simple install, or plugging it in, getting it to work wise should be pretty easy. It's just mounting it and get it where you wanted that gets tricky. Of course it's different for each car or where you put it. So that's where you gotta get a little creative. My car is a 2013 FRS with a Honda K24 with the 4K power swap. I'm running the Haltech 1500, which is in the glove box. And I'm going to try to mount the dash on top of the steering column here. I'm going to keep my old dash in. I want to retain some of the functions of the stock dash, like the check engine light, traction control lights, and other warnings that will come of it. I'm not 100% sure if any of that stuff translates to the Haltech or not, but it'd be nice to have both and have a backup if I need it. Even though this dash won't make the car any faster or anything, but I will be able to monitor the car's vitals a little bit easier with this, without having like a ton of gauges and stuff over the car. I've just never been a big fan of gauges everywhere, like over the dash or the column or everywhere, hot boy stuff. Going digital is the way to go. Plus you can modify the dash and have it the way you want it. It even has a pretty cool shift light on top, which is a cool additional bonus. It's just going to make the driving experience a lot better, a lot funner, exciting, look a lot cooler while you're driving. So the plan is to mount it on top of the steering column here. You can buy brackets and stuff from Haltech, but I'm thinking I'm going to try and make my own. I do have a little confession to make. I've had this car for 7-8 years now, and I never knew that the steering wheel was telescoping, as in it comes forward and backwards. I never knew it did that. I knew it went up and down, but not that. Okay, I started taking the dash apart, trying to see where I want it. The tricky part is finding where you can see the whole thing. If I go too low, then I'll cut off the RPM gauge. But if I go too high, I cut off the top of the screen. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to find that sweet spot of where I want to mount it. But most of you probably don't care about any of that install portion. You just want me to hook the damn thing up and turn it on so you can see all the pretty lights and see what it does. So I guess I'll do that. I'll go ahead and plug it in. Of course, this guy just plugs into the back of it. Pretty simple. I think I can plug this guy in the hill. Pretty simple. But for this guy, for the little extension cord, I need to plug this into my ECU, into my Haltech. So let's jump underneath the dash. I believe you can plug it straight into your Haltech here, but if you have the wideband adapter thingy, I'm not even sure what it's called, it's using that slot, which means I gotta plug it into it, which mine is hiding back there. Which you can kind of see it tucked in there, my WB1. There's two plugs for it. One's going to the wideband, and the second one I have going to my dash now. So now it's plugged in, and the rest of it underneath the dash and all that goodness, tuck it away and get it to the back of the Haltech dash. Okay, I got the wire plugged into the back of the dash. I probably will have to hook this up to the laptop and do some software updates and also do some settings in the Haltech software itself. But we'll go ahead and turn it on and see if she gets all the lights and all that crap. So we're getting power, don't need that. Turn off. Turn off. Turn off. Hey, it's doing stuff. Too bad I can't see because of this. Ah, pretty. Hey, you see I'm already getting reading because my battery voltage is a little low. So I have to start it. Hey. Now that I know all of that works, I'm going to jump on my laptop, hook up the USB drive that they gave me, and I'm going to install the software for it, which should be ic7 IC software, Haltech ICC. Yes. Install all of this witchcraft, or you can go to haltech.com, go to downloads, scroll down to ic7 dash, download. That way you know you have the most up-to-date version of the software. Once you got everything downloaded, click on your icon, open it up. Okay, dash is hooked up, car is on. Now I'm going to go to load from dash, or you can load from defaults. Go to Haltech, Haltech V2, and here you can select what type of, how you want it to look like. You can change it up a little bit, a lot of different options. Do old school. Once you've got this set up the way you want it, you want to send a dash. I'm just kind of experimenting with things right now, still trying to figure out. You can change the color of this stuff if you want. And once you've sent the dash, it should update it. Restart. Of course, all that's up to you on how to set it up. It'll probably be a trial and error, or me trying a few different things to figure out where I want certain things and what all I want to display on the screen, where I don't. So that's something I'm going to play with later, but at least I know it all works. So next, I gotta get back to figure out how I'm gonna actually mount it. The more challenging part of all this. Hey, I got it mounted in there. It's pretty sturdy, it's not going anywhere. You can kind of see how I did it. It's not the prettiest, but you won't be able to see it once everything's installed. I'm gonna try to install as much of the plastic stuff as possible. Of course, I'm gonna have to trim some of it to get it to work. That way it's still kind of slight OEM style to it. I did have to take the little glass shield part out of the gauge cluster. That way I can push the dash farther inwards, or that way. Which worked out pretty good. One thing I'm worried about is the wires from the back of the dash hitting the RPM gauge. I might interfere with it. But now I need to start putting all of this shit back in and figuring that all out. Hey, I got the dash all back together. Looking pretty good. Not too bad. I think I did a semi-clean install. You really can't see any of the brackets or anything. Looks pretty good. I got my plug, my USB plug down here, which is pretty easy to get to. Just turn on. Give it a second. It does take a few seconds for things to boot up. And there she is. Get you out of the way. I've done a lot of playing around with it, just messing with the settings and colors and stuff. And this is what I'm using so far. Throttle position, coolant, air temp, oil pressure. Fuels is not working yet. Wideband battery and speed. For the fuel, I'm gonna have to run a wire from the plug to the wire on the dash, the factory gauge cluster. And also if I want to get stuff like the turn signals, brake lights, and headlight lamps to work, I'm also gonna have to run wires from it to the factory harness. So that's something I'm going to do later. Also, another reason I left my factory gauge is I can peek around and still see my fuel. I can pretty easily change my layout, my gauge layout, to a different style if I want. Pretty easy. It's the same. I am pretty happy with this so far. It did take a lot of toying around and adjusted to get everything where I want it. But once you figured out, the software is not that bad. Pretty easy to deal with. So how about we go for a ride? Hey, as you can see, everything's working pretty good, pretty nicely. Which cluster do you like best? Put it in the comments. You like the traditional Haltech one or this one? And just a little update, if you watch some of my last few videos of me doing the engine bay harness on this car, you know, I had to replace the entire engine harness, which sucks, by the way. One thing I didn't add to those videos is the harness I got was from a 2016. This is a 2013, and apparently the ABS plug is pinned differently for the left hand speed sensor. So I was getting the ABS light, traction control light, so I had to de-pin one of the wires in that harness, and that fixed it. So everything's 100% now and good as new. And of course I'm not 100% done with the dash install. I'm gonna have to take it all back apart and start digging in and running some of the individual wires for like the blinkers. I tried to get my fuel gauge to work and stuff like that. So I probably won't make a video or anything about that because that's boring and tedious and not fun. Trying to figure out which wires are which, and yeah, that fun stuff.
Several days later.
But before I end this video, I want to throw this in, you know, to kind of help other people who's trying to get who's doing this and want to get the fuel gauge to work, because I just figured it out. It took me a while to figure it out. What you want to do is hook up, what is it, plug 21 AV4. You want to hook it to your signal wire, which is the green wire, and that goes to the back of the cluster. It goes from the back of your cluster to the signal unit to your fuel pump. So that the green wire is the one you're looking for. You want to hook it up, like I said, to AV421. And once that's hooked up, you want to go to level, fuel level, AVIP full sensor value pin 21. That's the one you want. Go to channels. You want to input calibrate, and this is where you calibrate your sending unit. So you gotta figure out what the voltage is at empty and at full. Apply it, send it to the dash, and you should have a working sending unit. Your voltage might be different on your car. Kind of trial and error thing. You're gonna have to drain all the fuel, figure out what the voltage is, fill up the fuel, figure out the voltage is, and put that data in, and you should have a working fuel gauge. But don't run out of gas like I did in the process. But hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you, if you're installing one of these, this helped you out or made you the season a little easier. This isn't sponsored by any way, just something I wanted, I made a video about. For the next video, I did buy a race spread foot panel thingy, whatever it's called. So I will be installing that here soon. So come back for that. And until next time, peace. Now, see you later.